Hello. How's everyone going? Just going to be getting started soon. I'm having some technical difficulties with a few things, but I think everything is starting to work. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, I think the audio levels are all right, but let me know if you need it a little bit louder. So yeah, today we'll be continuing our look at StyleStage. It should be a lot of fun, hopefully. I have a few ideas, and actually I need to find my files. I thought I'd be all ready, like super ahead of time for this, and I was trying to get started before 9 o'clock, and then I've just been not doing what I wanted to do, but let's bring this up and I'll show you what we'll be up to today. I need to set up some shortcuts, but there we go. So yeah, we're continuing. For those, I don't know if you guys saw the initial one, but I was working on StyleStage. So here it is. Styling. So this is what we have so far. There's a few things I think I want to change that I have, but I'm going to leave it like this for now. And actually, I'm in Firefox. This scroll bar doesn't look so good. It looks so much nicer in Chrome. Oh well, we're going to stay here because that's how I have my system set up. So that's fine. So that's there. But what do we want to do? We want to fix... Oh, I know what that is. We're going to move that to a little bit later in, just because in Firefox, this looks fine. In Chrome, this area is a little busted. So we're going to try and fix that up. 45-degree repeating background. We're going to try something interesting. I don't even know how I'm going to do it, but we're going to try and bring in some content in the background there eventually. Maybe I should have made something ahead of time for that. Oh well. I want to use grid. What we do next time, focus. Yeah, the main thing I want to do is use grid, and I actually don't think that's going to take too long to do, so maybe we can have some fun with fallbacks. And let's see who's here. Let's check out the chat. Baffinan Domingo, good day. Good day to you too. Thanks for joining. The sound is good. I'm not going to try and say your name. And3 from Norway. Welcome. I'm glad that you've been learning with me. And One you've watched all of my videos. That's actually really impressive. I don't know how many I have at this point, but there's a lot. There's probably over 300, I think. So if you've watched all of them, hats off to you. I don't think I would have watched all of my own videos. Yeah, and through all of this, of course, if you have any input, if there's anything you'd like me to do or add or whatever it is, please feel free to let me know. I just realized one thing. You don't want to see that, but I'm going to bring this off screen for a sec. I just want to let people know that I am live. I have to start... I don't do enough live streaming yet. I don't have a good model, and as I said, I was having some technical difficulties, so this morning, and let's see if I can do this really fast. So yeah, we're going to be continuing our style stage, and anything that you'd want me to tackle, anything you want me to do, or ideas that come up, please let me know, and I'm going to try and do that. And today's a bit of a special one. It's a Friday. I'm normally, starting next week, I'm going to try and start streaming a little bit more regularly. We're going to try, I think it's going to be Tuesdays. I forget I have it on Twitch anyway, a schedule. Mondays and Thursdays, I think is what I have it set up for right now. Anyway, I think it's going to eventually be Mondays and Thursdays. This Monday coming up, probably not, because it's a holiday here, meaning my whole family will be home. And this is a bit of a special stream, actually, because it's the first time I'm home alone during the day to do this. My kids just went back to school. I don't know how long that's going to last with the pandemic, so if they end up back home, maybe these live streams will take a little... We'll see what happens if things get shut down, but things are relatively stable here, so hopefully they can continue going to school. So it's nice. It's my first day where I can just have peace and quiet all day long. Really excited. I want to work on this. Got a lot of YouTube videos to do as well this afternoon. Undead pics. Yeah, okay. I see it now. Thank you. Baffy man, why calc 50 viewport? Where did I do that? Oh, here, margin. Why did I do that? Good question. What if we turn it off? What happens? I haven't worked on this in a while. Oh, is my... Let's try that again. Ooh, I didn't set that up. Weird. Okay. Oh, that's why. Okay, I remember now. I have a container. So if we go and look in here, there's a container. And one thing with StyleStage, one of the rules of StyleStage, it's like CSS Zen Garden. I can't touch the HTML. I cannot touch anything in here. I have to use it exactly as is. I can do anything I want with the CSS. And I think I'm going to try and go a little bit crazy by the end, just to really push CSS. Right now, we're just trying to make it look okay. So my container has a width on it. So actually, let's come to here and just, there's my container. So let's give this a outline of 2 pixels solid magenta so we can see it. And of course, we can't see the whole thing. That's right. These ones are okay. What's going on there? Anyway, it might have to do with what I did here, but I didn't think that would have an impact on it. Anyway, the idea here is that I can break out of the container. It can be wider than what my main container is. Don't know why I didn't show up there. But yeah, this is a trick that if ever you need something, actually, let's do it down here. Let's choose one of these paragraphs. And just to show you, this is my about. So if I come into my about, let's just do it at the bottom so I can quickly do, oh, there, I have an about section. Whatever, I'm gonna keep it at the bottom. About p and of type 2. Background is going to be pink. So we have this, and it's stuck inside my container because that's what containers do, or wrappers or whatever. We have a max width on that. So even here we could say dot container outline 2 pixels solid. I'll go with blue, I guess, since we don't have a background. Interesting. I didn't realize there was a double container. Anyway, I can't do anything about that. Interesting. I might be able to play with that a little bit. But what I can do here is that same thing. So if I say width is 100 viewport width, it's going to shoot out the side, obviously, because it's gotten really long. And that's what it is, that other one. The container is growing to fit the content, I think. So I'm going to turn that off. It's the visual of the outline. Maybe if I did a border, actually, it would work better. Border. Okay, there. You can see that it's shooting out the side of my container because it's overflowing because I told it has to be really big. So then you can do that margin trick. Margin, say 0 top and bottom, or say 2M top and bottom. And then it's calc. And I always forget how to do it. Where is that, my H1? I should just do a search. There it is. Find H1. There it is. 50 viewport width plus 50%. Okay, so 50 viewport width plus 50%. And that's going to break it. Was it negative? There we go. And it sort of centers it on the page. And then you can sometimes do a transform and do other stuff. But so we're saying, it's kind of weird, but the negative margin is, we have 100% viewport width, and then the negative margin is pushing it down to exactly be in the middle. And then we're adding the 50, or no, sorry. I have a video on this where I explain it really well. But anyway, it's so you can break things out of the container, more or less. That's the idea with this. Negative viewport width is smushing it, and then the plus 50% is stretching it back out. But it's stretching it back out from the middle instead of having it start here. So that's the reason this and this here work together to be able to do it. So yeah, I have a video on it, and that video has a link to a blog article that actually explains it probably better than what I just did now. Sounds complicated. I mean, it's not that bad. It's one of those tricks that once you understand, once you know about it, you don't worry about so much of how it's working, you just know it does. But I definitely did a better job explaining it in my video. Hi. Man, this thing with the live streams that's going to kill me is reading people's names. And plus, I have the chat on my laptop and it's really tiny. A Burkinix, sorry. I'm doing good. How are you doing? And how long are you streaming for? I'll probably be on for 2 hours, 3 hours, something like that. We'll see how it goes. I always say 2, and then I always end up being about 3 hours. So, sorry, I just need some coffee to keep me going. So, yeah, I'll probably be on until about 12 Eastern. We'll see how it goes, though. I don't have as much planned as I usually do, but we always get sidetracked with chat stuff anyway, so... Undead Pix is saying, for the trick I was just looking at, as I remember, it is not in the middle with just negative 50 viewport width. Okay, yeah, let's actually go back. If we just do this, so the negative 50 viewport width, this is always the best thing. If you see something weird, break it down. So if I only do that, so okay, without this even, let's just say this is 0. So there's no margin on the left and the right. So it's starting where it always wanted to start, has the full width, so it shoots out the side. The negative 50 is pushing it all the way the other way. And what would 50% do? 50%, actually I'm surprised they're almost the same, but it's shooting it off the side of the page, and then because the width is 100 viewport width, if we add 50% back to it, it centers it. What would happen if we just did negative 25 here? Just out of curiosity. No, it doesn't work. Yeah, you really got to go the full 100 there. Minus 50%, plus 50%. Whatever, we had it working. It's all good. And we can turn off that whole thing, actually. Ed, I'm so sorry I got it wrong. Ed, it's Ed Bert Nix. Bert Nix? Is that better? Hi, Walla. Welcome. Did I use that trick? I've used it a few times for sure. I don't know if I've used it tons. We don't need that container on there either. One thing actually I just learned is that a container, because here we'll see my title's actually, this is why I used it, so my title could break out of my container. If it's a border, it shows you that. If it's an outline, it's going to grow with the content that was in it, even though that's, I didn't know about outlines. So it's not actually showing me the size of my container anymore because something's overflowing out the side. That is one of the reasons though. It's use outlines to find issues because A, it doesn't cause repaints, like it doesn't add to the size of your element. But if you're looking for something that's causing side scrolling or something, outlines is the way to go. So the first thing I wanted to do, if we don't I need to come up, if anybody has any tricks or tips on like names, reading them from a chat. But, hello. I'm glad I got it better that second time. I'm going to call you Ed. We're going to go with Ed. And I'm glad I got it better the second time. And we're going to stick with Ed so I don't have to stress about it because I'm going to butcher it if I say it again. All right. So I wanted to set up a grid here. And I do think I'm going to have to change my container to get this to work properly. Mani Kanta. That's easier. Thank you. Breaking it up a little bit does definitely help. So, hello, Mani Kanta. So yeah, what I wanted to do with all of this is to break it up and then to use position sticky. And I even put in my notes for this. Did I write it? Will this work? This won't work, will it? I think it will, but I forget. I haven't used position. Well, here I'm using position sticky for the navigation, so it sticks there and then it sticks here. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that. I sort of like the bottom one, but I don't know if I like it sticking to the top or not. So we're going to see if we stick with that or not. I need to change the colors and stuff on here a little bit too. But anyway, so far so good. So what I think I'm going to do is, yeah, I want to set up a grid for in that area. But I'm a little worried because we have the container and then we have a container that the grid is going to get screwed up because I was sort of thinking I'm going to have to put a grid on my container here. I want it on this one. So I could always say, I know what I could do. Or I could do it on the article. No, the container inside an article. Maybe I could do that. Yeah, okay, so we could do that. So I'm going to come up just to keep my CSS a little bit more organized. I'm not the only one reading the names wrong from the chat. It's the norm. I know, but I feel bad. It is hard when it's all lowercase and all stuck together. It doesn't make it easy for us. Sorry, I'm jumping all over. Section, should I do it? Oh, this is my reset that I have there. I haven't been in this. One of the hardest things about coming back to something, it's been 2 weeks maybe since I've worked on this. It definitely makes it a little bit harder to remember where your stuff is. Nav, I want it above my nav. Header, we'll do that. We'll do it here because it's generic, I guess. Somewhat generic. I might refactor all of this at one point too. Another thing I'm thinking about doing on a live stream eventually is refactoring the pop dog card I did because it's a little disorganized. So if you've been following that on YouTube, but a few people have put in some pull requests on fixing some stuff up in there. So if you want to tackle that as well, I'm all for that. I have to approve one of them later. So I'm going to say it's an article. So the containers in my article, I want to do a display of grid. And again, I wouldn't normally select something like this, but I can't modify the HTML. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Let's just try a grid template, columns, 1FR, 1FR. I'm going to change that, but there we go. That's what I wanted. So we get that, but I want my article H2 to be grid column. I haven't done grid in a little while now. 1/2, and then my article star not H2. That should work, right? To have a grid column of 2/3. Does that work? Seems to work. Cool. And then there's no container at the bottom, which is why it looks like that. So what I was thinking is, and this is where I might have to refigure how I was going to do my container, but if I did my article H2 with a position of sticky, and then I said top, I don't know, 3M, let's just see if that works. So now the idea is when we get here, that should stick. A little bit more. Let's do like a 5. There we go. So we get to here, and then it should stick as you read all of that. And then when the next one comes, and this is what I love with position sticky, is the next one pushes it out of the way, and then you just keep going. I'm never going to get tired of that. I wasn't sure if it was going to work with grid, but I find it such a cool thing that you can do. But it does mean that I'm going to have to completely change how I've set up my container, because obviously this is way too narrow and it just doesn't look very good now. But it is really fun to do stuff like that. Hey, Flavio, welcome. And Car Talk and Julie? I can't tell if there's an L there. It's really hard for me to read that red for some reason. Baffian is saying, do you have to consider extra margin for the stuff that goes under and over the sticky nav bar so that it doesn't go beneath? I remember having to do that. Yeah, it's the same as if it's fixed. So if, like I don't have anything under it right now, so it's fine. But if, yeah, and I was going to do something originally with JavaScript to take that into account. I was going to set a custom property and then it would match the height of my navigation so that I wouldn't run into issues with it. I'm going to add to my to-do list. Fix navigation link styling because it looks like crap. But yeah, it's the exact same idea as if it's stuck here, like there is content underneath it. And that's why this here isn't perfectly centered on the screen right now. Or it's centered in my viewport. It's not centered taking this into account, which sort of sucks. But whatever. Manny's asking which colors you like to use the most. I've been using I mean, it depends. I like all colors. They're all, you know, the colors of the rainbow. I have been using a lot of orange lately just because it's my brand, quote unquote, color, which is why I didn't go with orange with this, because I wanted to change it up. I haven't used blue in a while. I do want to make this a little flashier, I think. Originally, I was just going to go for a nice, really clean, simple design, but since it's about what you can do with CSS, I might make it really flashy at one point. We'll see. We'll see about that. I'm not sure yet, but yeah. Oh, and actually, just in case you guys have never done it, I would really recommend checking out Stephanie's modern CSS.dev. She's added a couple things here too recently to it. If you modern CSS solutions to old CSS problems, definitely check it out. If you haven't, modern CSS.dev, really good site. I think that's the real Flavio, yeah. I let some of the YouTubers know that, or well, YouTubers, some content creators know that I was going live, so I think it's the real one in there. Valoa's saying subgrid to be a thing. I'm 100% with you. I have a video that I've done, and it's not finished. It's supposed to be finished a long time ago. That shows why I'm so excited with subgrid. I need to tweak it a little bit. I recorded it the first time and it was a bit of a mess. So I'm going to do it again. But man, subgrid, I can't... Grid itself became a thing so quickly, and then just subgrid has hit a wall. I really hope Chrome and Safari get on it soon. Manny's asking, yeah, I have a text shadow on my H1, so there's a little bit of a glow. And yeah, I do have a text shadow on there, and there's also a gradient in the background here. Undead Picks grid saved my bacon for with my last customer. That's awesome. And I saw something about somebody not using grid. Julie, I don't use grids ever. I always use Flex. I mean, most things you can definitely do with Flex. It's just like stuff like this where you need 2, 3, 4, 5 columns, but also like here, just that I can have this big empty area and then the next one comes in is super cool. I've also started really liking it for responsiveness. Just having, I made the video a long time ago now actually about using grid template areas, because then if you need to rearrange a layout at different sizes, and it's not for a simple like 3 columns to 1 column, that's Flexbox, that's all you need it for. But if you have something that's more complex, you have like 3 columns and then 2 underneath and then something else, but then you need it to like shift at a medium size and then change again at a smaller size. You're just redefining your grid template areas and nothing else, and the whole thing can just completely be different. It's amazing. I love it so much. Okay, so here I think instead of 1FR, you know, this should be like a 4 maybe, so we actually have room for our text. I'm going to add a gap here of 2M, 1M. Whoops. My H2s, I want to really, like, what if we did, and this is, I'm designing in the browser here, so if you have ideas, please let me know. But I'm thinking if we did like a pretty small font size, and this is where I'm going to probably want to clean things up over time. That's probably too small. Okay, we'll just do a 1. Line height of 1. I think because of the, let's take a look. Is it, oh, that, oh no. Okay, so one thing I did do, that's okay. My gap there seems really big though. The fun of grid, okay, let's just turn on, this is why I like Firefox. I think there's something better coming, or has come in Chrome, but I haven't used it yet. Let's turn you on. Oh, gap, that's why. Gap should only be column gap. There we go. So just undo that. I have a gap. You can see the gap visually. So you can see the gap is this way and that way, horizontal and vertical. So I only want the gap to be in between my columns and not in between my rows, because I already had the margin there. So that fixes that. The problem is I'd set things up using, this is from Every Layout, from Hayden Pickering and Andy Bell, who use something like this to add the spacing on top. And usually that works perfectly because you want the first thing to have no margin and then everything else gets the margin, but it's screwing this up here. I think we could fix that. Whoops, why am I going to there? I'm used to having all my tabs open with SAS files instead. I don't know where I was. It was article. Oh, that was it. I was just there. What if we did, or I can do it down here, I guess. Article P first of type margin 0. There we go. That fixes that. Look who's here. Hey, Gary. Thanks for joining. Let's see who else we have. The sticky header, do I have a shadow? Who asked that? I don't. This thing, I don't have a shadow on that right now. Flex grid, whatever, these are all tools. By the way, my sin was using an HTML table last year. Mobile was a total disaster on DeadPix. Yeah, tables, making tables responsive is so much work. There are times where tables are still something that can work and that, you know, they actually are the right thing to use if you have tabular data, but man, it's a nightmare. Would margin auto fix that? Fix which one? I'm not sure what, I might have missed it there. Who's Lil Sass? Big. Valos, I'm more worried for Safari because it became the new IE. In France, it's about 20% of browsers. Wow. And I know it's all mobile, right? Or not all mobile, but all iPhones. Margin auto. Yeah, I would probably do the same thing. I don't like margin auto, just especially because it is a grid child. It could have unintended consequences. I don't think it would ever do anything weird, but it could technically center it. Because here, just for fun, font size. I'm going to give it a really high line height. We'll make the font size bigger again. And then line height can be like 5. I just want it to be like really tall. So this area is kind of screwed up, but if I did a margin auto, it would center it in that space because margin auto top and bottom of grid and flex children center it vertically. So I always, if I want 0 margin on something, I always want to make sure I'm saying it's actually a 0 margin on something. Well, I think, oh, no, anyway, I think, Manny, off topic. So for video background, we want a button on it, but those are moving to different positions in different screens. How to fix a button at one position on the video. Video background, a button on it. I guess it depends where the button's in different positions. If you go into more detail in your question, I could probably come up with a solution. On DeadPix, you use Firefox on iPhone, but every browser on the iPhone is using WebKit. They're all just skins of Safari. That's Apple's monopoly on everything. So it doesn't matter what device you're using, or not what device. It doesn't matter what browser you're using. They're all using WebKit, so they're all locked into pretty much being and supporting whatever Safari supports. But as far, I'm really hoping with Jen Simmons being over there at Safari now that things improve. I'm assuming she's going to advocate a lot more for getting better. I've already seen she's been asking a lot on Twitter about the dev tools, and I'm hoping she sort of helps push them toward having a bit more in line with the CSS and everything. Yeah. You love Mozilla. I'm really worried about what the future of Mozilla. I'm hoping that it does for the browser. You know, they were pushing things a lot, and I'm really worried what's the future of that going to be. So here I'm gonna put rem instead of m, and we'll make that like 7, just so if I change the font size, it's not influenced by that. Man, my scroll bar was so much nicer in Chrome. Let's give this a background of, whatever, let's just give it this blue maybe. And the color is white. Align self start. Padding 0.25 m. Border radius 0.25 m. Not what I thought it would look like. Okay, so I'm gonna change that a little bit, but you get the idea of sort of how I see this working. We could do something that's, you know, not perfect, but I do definitely need to change my container now though. Max width. I'd set it to 55 ch originally because I wanted to prevent the line lengths from getting too long. But now we have, oh, can I do? I'm gonna try something. Let's just turn that off for a second. Can I try? This could be interesting. I will set an eventual max width, I think, just because if not, it could get really awkward. But I'm wondering, now also I have areas that aren't going to be following the rules that I've set up here. .article. Article. Oh, it's not article. I was looking for a class. .container. I should probably keep this up top, actually. Whatever. I'll organize it later. Here, I could do a min-max, right? I was thinking even just doing, but anyway, min-max, minimum. Do I want a min-max? The problem with min-max is one of the the minimum value I think has to be, yeah, the minimum value has to be a, like a pixel value or a set value anyway. Like it can't be an FR. What if I just did minimum? The minimum, or the maximum between, is it the max? No, I want the minimum, which I always forget with min-max, which one I want. We'll try max, but then it's the bigger of the two, right? Max is like setting a min width if you do it as a width. Let's see what happens here. 3FR, comma, 55CH. I might have even broke. I don't know if that's even going to work. Whoops. Not what I wanted. No, it's not working at all. Whoops, not min height, min. Interesting. Why are these different? Oh, because I completely broke it. That's why. Okay. Valos is saying they're expecting some movement at Safari since she's there. Let's hope so. Hey, Florin. Welcome. Thanks for coming. I can't have... that's why. Okay. That makes sense, actually. Min-max. I was just hoping it would take it as a... Okay, let's try... I'm just going to do 10 pixels and see what happens here. So it's stopping there. Is this working in a way? No, it's the FR thing is busted, but that's okay. I can fix that. But then here it won't. It's not shrinking though when I get to the small screen sizes, or is something caused? No, my navigation might be the culprit if it's causing some overflow. I don't know. I might be getting too complicated here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll set it all up. Let's set it up so we're not worrying about that too much, and then we'll make it look better after. So here, if I just did one FR, let me do a min max here and give it a minimum of. I don't want it. Okay, whatever. For now. This is. I'm trying to think what I want to do. I want it to be about 3 times as big, but I want it to stop at a point. That's where it would be nice if I could. Like, if I can't do 55ch comma 1fr. Can I? Wouldn't that break it? If I do that, they're both 1fr. But then if we shrink it, yeah, it's stuck at 55ch now. Okay, I'm not going to overthink it for now. It's not perfect, but I'm going to leave it like this for a moment. If anyone has a better idea of what I could do with the titles, I could either do it really big and actually have it sideways maybe. I forget how to do that, but we could definitely look at something like that. And even another thing I'm sort of thinking is having each section here, like setting the stage being one color, another color, like changing background colors maybe. Something could be fun with that. Why are my links? Oh, are they children of my grid? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I can fix that. Yeah, it expects a finite value. Anyway, I'll play around with that a little bit, but we're a little closer to what I wanted to do for that. Let's go to my to-do. Maybe what I'll do is something. I'm not as inspired with what I was doing there as I thought it would be when I was working on it. So maybe I'm going to fix these, because right now these links are using the same styling as here, which I don't mind. Actually, I want to make a little change to those too, but I don't like these looking like that. I don't think it works for the navigation. So let's fix that. Nav. Did I style my nav A? I did change the color of them. The reason they're there is I actually use pseudo elements underneath. So I could just say the nav A before and my after have a. Does content auto work? I don't want there to be content, or I can do it. No. Whoops. Does the auto just make it go away? No. I don't even know what keywords content takes on set. Didn't I use? I'm pretty sure I used pseudo elements on my navigation there. Okay. Yeah, I did. So wouldn't it make sense? Wouldn't onset turn off the content? Whatever, that works. How come you can't turn off a content? Yeah. Anyway, that's fine. That works. But now obviously I need to have some sort of effect on it, which that. Oh, this I'd done, which I don't even need anymore, right? That's not doing anything. Yeah. So right now I can't, even if I tab over, I can barely see that it's highlighted because I changed my outline color, which maybe wasn't worth it because the outline color looks a lot like the default in Chrome anyway. Any suggestions on how I should style these up? Let me know. I could just change the color for now. Is that going to be noticeable enough? Oh, that's not bad actually. It's simple. If anyone has any suggestions though, let me know. Oh no, I never thought about that. That's one of the annoying things. So that's why, another problem with sticky. I never even used my navigation up until now. We have this going, but it's stopping this part at the top of the page, and because that's sticky, it's that problem that I forget who mentioned it at the beginning. But because, whoops, because the sticky thing is actually covering the beginning of that, which is terrible. So what I'm going to do is, and I mean, I was just playing around. I'm going to turn that off. Not nav. I'm going to keep my position sticky. Where is position sticky? Oh, I put it in my media query. That makes sense. I can keep that, but maybe turn off the top one. So it's stuck to the bottom of the page, which is kind of awkward there at some screen sizes. But here it's, oh, look at that. This changes color when you click on it. Interesting. So it's stuck to the bottom. So somebody right away could click and actually go to where they want to go. Yeah. So it'll work there. So it's always there, but then it won't stick to the top of the screen. Again, I can't change the HTML, so I know I can't add any JavaScript. If I was, or even there's not a lot. If I could change the markup, maybe there's a solution I could do for that actually. But for now, yeah, the grid, I definitely, it's undead pics. Let's go to my grid article. This here, because yeah, let's go to mobile. It's busted. I mean, I could just say I have to fix my navigation at mobile too. That would be its own video though, probably. I did get a cool thing. Maybe I could try that. We're gonna try something later. Oh no, I can't. Yes, no, I can't do that. Never mind. I'd have to change the markup to get it to work. Actually, that's gonna be a bit of a challenge if we can't do something. That's gonna be interesting. We're gonna tackle that. At media, min width of, what did I do for the last media query I did? $37. We'll stick with the same one and we'll see if that works. 37M. And then we could turn this on. I might use the grid. I'm so used to Sass. Article.container. And actually, then I'd want to move a few things around here. So I'm going to take this media query all the way down to the bottom, because I think we're going to be using it a lot more. And then it was my .article, no, my article h2. I mean, all of this, definitely. Because even now the sticky is going to break stuff. Like, that's terrible, right? So we definitely don't want it to be sticky here, unless if I click on about and it goes there. Yeah, I don't want it sticky. So, okay, we'll start with this here. Just bringing it inside my media query. And then that was about here, right? And then we want font size, all this can stay. I just want to take this out. That's my article H2. Article H2. So then it just behaves a bit more normal. Not as fancy. And actually the font sizes are probably going to change. Here was font size 1 rem. This is one of those rare instances where I'm going to have the font size bigger at mobile sizes. So here at mobile, come down, it's like that. You get that section, you get that one. I think that's fine. And then when we get to the larger screen size, it breaks into this. I mean, it's not terrible. Oh, I forgot about scroll style. Thanks, that's an object n. Scroll margin top. Okay, because even now, it is going a little bit. Like say I click on about. Oh, actually, it's not too bad. It's this space now. Oh, because I don't need that space. Anyway, let's. I just want to play with that since I completely forgot. That would be all the way. I haven't used. I think I did a video on it and then I haven't used it since then. Wouldn't it be on my HTML itself then? Scroll margin top 50 viewport height. If you're never sure how something works, exaggerate it. No. I'm going to try the uppercase. I think the uppercase could look good actually on DeadPix. I'm sort of, I don't know, I'm sort of doing mobile first and not mobile first. It is mobile first because I'm moving my styles into the media query after. It's one of the problems when I design something. I always design big screen and then I make, like if I'm in Figma or XD or whatever, I design big screen and then I do it at small screens. Because for design, I think that way. If I'm coding up from a design, I'll start mobile first and then make it work big. When I'm designing in the browser, I'm just messed up all over the place. Okay, 1 second. MDM scroll style, scroll margin. Does the scroll margin only work? I remember doing something on it, but does it only work if you're using the scroll snap? Does it say here? Is it not for the smooth? It might not be for smooth scrolling. It's only for scroll if you have scroll snap. I don't want to use the scroll snap, and I see it's mixed in with that. I could use scroll snap, but I don't know if it would work with these, would it? Like if I click on that, I guess it might go down and then move up a little bit again, if it was working. If anyone's used, because then, okay, 1 second. I haven't used scroll snap in so long. I'm not a big fan of it. Where's just scroll snap here? Back. I saw it there. No, I didn't. Don't we just have a scroll snap by itself? Scroll snap type X. We have mandatory and proximity. What's proximity? I do think isn't there an issue with scroll snap too if the elements aren't big enough? If they're really small, I think you can run into issues where it actually ends up trying to get the next one into the viewport. Because if I did article, no, section, I don't think it's gonna scroll snap type mandatory X. That's not working at all. The X has to go first. Oh, I'm doing Y. That would maybe be Y. I don't know. Or I also have grid on and other stuff. Maybe that's playing with it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to go too deep into that rabbit hole because I don't want to set it up. Manny's asking if there's bits available. I'm not an affiliate yet. I've just started here on Twitch, so I haven't reached affiliate status yet. So far I can't. There's no way for me to monetize what I'm doing here. And DevPix, I designed both at the same time and start with mobile. Someone said it's better to add complexity and remove it, but yeah. Yeah. I find it a lot easier usually. Oh, it's so nice you bought 300 bits for me. I don't know how much Twitch that is. I have no idea either. Hopefully I do get... I have to stream like 7 times. I've hit most of the milestones that I need based on my first one. I think all I need is more hours, and I need at least like 7 streams within... Or is it... I don't know. There's a certain amount of streams I need to do, which is where I am. Scroll padding top. But where do I put the scroll padding top? That's the only thing I don't know. That's right. 1 second. I did scroll margin. I was supposed to do scroll padding. I did margin, right? Or did I delete it already? Scroll margin. Scroll padding. Is that going to work? I should do the first one. Oh, who said that? Manish, thank you. Wow, that's cool. That worked. So if I wanted to keep my sticky nav, then I'm not going to, I don't think. But I guess we could. Oh, that's so easy. Wow. Maybe I've done that before and I just completely forgot. I'm not sure. So not margin, scroll padding. That makes sense that it would be padding. So just for fun then, I'm going to turn that off for a second, and let's find my nav where I had position sticky. So now it's sticky on the bottom, and it's also sticky on the top. And if I click somewhere, the problem is that it covers up some of my text. So on my HTML element, where I have my scroll behavior smooth, I should probably keep it with this one, but I threw it down on this one. We can... Why do I have 3 of them? Anyway, I have to refactor this a little bit. So now if I did this and I said 6 rem, and I click on that, oh, that's cool. It's going to keep it. Oh, you know what? I'm keeping that. That works really well. That's sweet. Thank you, guys. You helped me out with that one a lot. That looks so much better. Whoops, I keep clicking links that don't go anywhere right now. That's cool. Oh, contribute seems off though. Steps to what? Why is contribute? That one's... Maybe I just need to make it bigger. That looks a little better. There we go. Stopping it there. So we go to the next one. Guidelines, contribute. There, that's good. files goes to there, and that's a bit different. Styles goes to a page that doesn't exist yet. Awesome, thank you. Undead's asking, may I link your channel on YouTube and here to my page, since aside of school I learn most interest. Of course. Add a progress bar. I can't. That'd be cool. Or maybe I could somehow do it. I can't do any JavaScript, so I don't know if I could do a progress bar. I'm trying to think if there, I don't think there's a way of doing that without JavaScript, is there? Okay, one thing actually I want to look at is I need to grab this. Just to look, there is, where's my Chrome? I need a new window. Oh my goodness. Okay. Why is that not working? Okay, there we go. One of the issues here, and I didn't realize it, if we look here, let's just move this to the side. Notice how in Firefox this looks really good, and over here in Chrome this is looking absolutely terrible. Like here my outline or my border is shooting off and into the next column. This is because I used CSS columns for it, for this area, so that definitely needs to be fixed. And I lost my chat. 1 second. I got my chat back. Okay. So that is one, and look how much nicer my scroll bar is in Chrome. I should add a different background color though. I think here it looks okay in white, but here I don't like it, but that could be another day. This is one of the things I really wanted to fix. So, and you know, it looks terrible. There's also an issue actually at smaller screens too, where here it's overflowing out the side, whereas in this one, see how it Firefox actually breaks the words at the hyphen, the forward slash automatically, whereas Chrome's not doing it. Chrome's causing overflow there, which is interesting. And this is part of the fun of making sure things work on all our browsers. And interesting, actually, I'm surprised at how different it's handled across the two of them. And I haven't used columns enough to remember how to fix this problem. I also forget where this is in my, which section is that? That's my section about. No, is it? Oh, it's right at the end of my section about. Okay. Because I forget what, it's here, this, right? Modern, yeah. So it's my UL. I don't think I've styled any other ULs. That's my navigation about, it would be this one. So here I did my columns. So the ideal width is 4M and the ideal amount of columns is 4. But it sort of does that balancing act. So I didn't need any media queries for this, it just worked. There are more controls for columns to fix this stuff, I think, but I completely forget what they are. So columns CSS. Because I don't use columns very often at all. But there is ways of column fill. What's fill do? Balance all. That's more if you have like a big string of text that you want to break up. I think it controls how long the text is. But I'm sure there's something on breaking. The spans are cool too. Column count, fill, rule. Rule is for lines in between. I used that recently in a video. Span width. Do I not have a way to control where columns break? I was sure there was something. Basic concepts. Handling overflow. Not really what I want, but maybe there's something in here about it. It is, using Flexbox or Grid could work. There's sort of some issues with both, which is, like, for me, this is where columns works. So that's Manishu's asking. You know, this is sort of what I don't want to do that though. Oh, here, handling content breaks. There, I knew there was something. Break inside. To control the breaks inside boxes, use break inside property. Break inside a void maybe would work. Avoid page, avoid column. Because I mean, the big problem right now is it's breaking inside of this one, and it's bringing part of that one up here, which is what columns are for. And again, the reason I didn't use, I'd originally set it up, I think, with grid, and you could do it. The reason, and yeah, I guess grid would work perfectly fine, because you could set it up for like autofill or autofit, and then a min max, so you have one and then it goes 2, 3, 4. It could work perfect. I think it's just because I wanted to prevent it from having too many, but then if you have a maximum size on that area anyway, it wouldn't really, you can see even I had a grid here set up at one point. We even tried setting it up as a marquee, but that was a fail. But maybe that's just because I'm not good enough at CSS animations. So let's try, what was it? Break inside. I don't know if the break inside would go on the element or on, I could read it, but whatever. Break inside, avoid. Ah, there we go. So I assumed it would be on the child. Maybe I read that, but we want to make sure that nothing breaks across columns. So that was an easy fix there. The other one I want to avoid is this breaking across as well. So if, responsive. One annoying thing with responsive is when it goes wider. Oops, sorry about that. When it goes wider than your viewport. This is another nice thing with the columns. Anyway, it's fine, but actually no, that would work either way. It's not even that big of an issue anymore, but it's still there. I have some. That's gonna have to get fixed. What's causing the overflow? Anyway, we'll get there after. For that would be on my LI as well. Text break CSS MDM. Word break, break all, break word. What's the difference between break all and break? Is that even the one I want? Word break, break word, and overflow, sorry. A blank break at the exact place where text would otherwise overflow its container, even if putting an entire word. Maybe I want this instead? Let's try that one first. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, because it's willing to, but see, I think the issue here is Chrome is seeing this as a single word with the forward slashes, whereas Firefox was being smart enough on where to break it. I don't want to break my word because that looks terrible. What does anywhere do? They both sound pretty bad. Maybe I do want to use word break instead. I think this is going to look the same though. It's even worse. It's doing it. At least on the other one, it's only where it was causing overflow. So that I'm going to... Any suggestions? All the browsers need to add same features. When will it happen? I mean, they mostly try to, I think. But it depends on their update cycles. It depends on so many different things. Chrome likes to go rogue and add its own things, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. But I mean, I know as developers, it's really frustrating having the browser diversity in the sense of it doesn't work the same across all browsers. And in this case, I'm doing this for the one that has the most usage. I'm wondering if I can do something with that /, but the issue comes more in that, like, people dream of this if everyone was exactly the same, which is even, now Edge has solved that problem for us because it's based on Chromium, so we know that everything works there now, which is amazing. Also, sorry for my chair if it's squeaking. I'm getting a new one in like 3 days, or on Tuesday, but for now I have a squeaky one. But if you go back to when I started and IE had like everything, like it was 90-something% browser share, and it could literally dictate the direction the web was going in. It did that in even the reason we don't write XML now, and the reason we have HTML is because of Internet Explorer, at least from the history I understand. And you don't want one browser that can dictate how everything is going to work. Because if Google, and especially if it was an independent, maybe it'd be less worrisome. But back then it was Microsoft, now it's Google. You're taking these massive corporations, and Google with just the Google's job is for advertising. And they go on page speed, but they also talk about the advertising is such a big part of it that if they could control everything because they were the one browser and everyone's based on Chromium, to me that's a big issue. And the browser diversity is very important. It puts pressure on other browsers to keep updating as well. Even if there's Firefox pushing all the time when it was, I don't know what's going to happen now. But as it kept pushing, that does put pressure on Chrome. And I mean, Safari is Safari, but hopefully now that with Jen there, as I said, and to me, with them hiring Jen, it also signals maybe that it's not only her being there, but it also signals their intent of hopefully that they want to try and push things a little bit. Yeah, so it's annoying that we have to worry about what things are like in different browsers, but I think it's important that we do have to do that too. Pal Hulser, you margin padding snap with spaces. I would normally the same way this is, but I'm not allowed to touch the HTML. So it's one of the challenges of the style stage challenge here is I cannot touch any of the HTML. So that would be the solution that I would normally do. If you use grid, you can set this span to take 2 columns. Oh, I mean, you know what I could do? I mean, I guess I could do the columns should be 8 instead of 7. I guess that would fix it. And then it breaks there. That works. I just made them a little bigger. It's problem solved. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting an expensive chair. It's the first time I spend any... Whoops, no, I want to have that one on. I don't know. My first time I'm spending money on an office chair that's more than like a small amount of money, but I'm going to be working from home, so I figured I should get a good chair. Oh, this... Why? Oh, because I know why. I broke my container. Maybe? Yeah. And my title's too big, maybe. No, that doesn't make sense. I never had issues there before. Was it because I was only in Firefox this whole time, so I never noticed I had an issue? Because here everything looks fine. And this is another problem. Oh, you know what? That's actually working okay. I was worried that the navigation... Oh, there. This is where it's kind of funky. There... Oh, because I turned off the sticky at small screen sizes. But here, that's kind of awkward. So if somebody's on, like... We could do a media query for that too, I guess. But why is this okay? Okay, so let's just do a but head on over to Chrome. Why don't I have side scrolling now? And even I shouldn't have any issue because anyway, okay, we'll get to the bottom of that. That's the chair you got recently. Cool. I can't get it. Currently unavailable. Is it comfortable? I think it's important to have a good chair if you're going to be sitting a lot. My grid might be preventing it? Maybe, but why is it only happening in... Is this Chrome or Firefox? This is Chrome. Oh, I might know why. I might know why. Scroll. Nope, not that. Okay. These things are sticking out the side there. It's my container that's causing it. Okay, one sec. So I'd originally done that. We looked at that at the beginning of the stream, and I've looked at that in other ones. So I had a reason for that, but it seems to be on Chrome, it was breaking it. So I just won't put it on for now, and maybe I'll tackle that, why that was happening after. I know we're sort of still screwing up. My navigation needs a lot of work. I'm not going to do the navigation today, though, probably. Oh, it's true, eh? Okay, let's put that back on. Whoops. Okay, so responsive mode, shrink it down, and refresh. Nope, still busted. But part of that, actually, one sec. That refresh even, yeah, there's no side scrolling, but is it the width 100 VH? VW, I mean. It seems to have somewhat fixed it by taking that off. I never had a problem with that in Chrome before, though. That's really weird. And what if I'm in Firefox? Okay, I'll leave it like that, I guess. That's a weird one. Whoops. Weird one. Yeah, I actually don't know why that fixed it. I do know that there's an issue with 100% viewport width, but usually it's when there is a scroll bar, not when there isn't one. And I also turned off, like I have an overflow X hidden, I think. On my body. Just curious if, turn that back on now. It's still there. And it's not overflowing because it's zoomed out to like take that into account. That's why I tried turning off that custom scroll bar I put, because I was thinking, because I know that that's always the issue with 100% viewport width is the viewport width goes underneath the scroll bar, so sometimes things get bigger than they're supposed to be. Actually, where did I do that scroll bar again? Scroll bar. Oh, it is. No, I'm still. Refresh. Maybe. That shouldn't matter. Hakon's saying it. He doesn't think it's an issue. He thinks it's Chrome's responsive mode, which, yeah, I mean, I should just test this on my phone. I don't have browser sync set up now, though, so I don't think I can. I could set up browser sync really fast, though. Is that worth doing? Tell me if you guys want me to set up browser sync. I'd use pre-post to do it. So you know what? I'll leave for now. I'll pretend it's not an issue. We'll put my scroll bar back to how we had it. I'm going to change the background here actually to var. Is that going to look weird? If I did that, I would turn off the border though. No, I don't like that at all. What if I made it really dark? What's my darkest one? I wish it would always just pop up and show me my colors. And that looks weird too because it's the same as that one. 400. That looks really awkward because it's part of my scroll bar. That's kind of interesting, but it's really strange at the same time. Same problem there. It sort of melds in. You guys let me know what color I should use for the scroll bar area. It's not going to affect Firefox, but... Oh, you're saying just resize the browser window? I don't find this is very... I'm not getting... Oh, see, it is shooting out the side there, but it's because it's going underneath here. But I have overflow off, so we're not seeing it, but it's definitely overflowing. I'm just not getting scrolling because I'm hiding the overflow. Whereas Firefox is behaving properly. Which is weird. Maybe it has something to do with the clamp I have for my font size somewhere? Beffian, okay, I'll set up browser sync and I'll check it out on my phone just to see out of curiosity. But I'm not going to do it the long way because I don't feel like setting up npm and everything right now. So I'm going to cheat. And I thought I had it down there. I don't. So let's actually turn off live server then. And this is, if you don't know it, it's a software called Prepro. So you can see I haven't been doing, well, I'm using it for something else right now, but it's pretty cool. There's a Mac only thing like this. Actually, there's one problem. I like, you might notice, I like having GUIs if I can have them. Where is this one? Is it on my desktop? It is, okay. So I forget the one that's Mac only. That's quite popular. But StyleStage. The one that's Mac only, synchronize browsers. I don't think I need to. Let's see. I haven't used it in a while for my, whoops. But it sets up browser sync automatically. StyleStage. And I can come to here. I forget how to do it actually. App settings? No. Synchronize. I know you can synchronize everything, but I'm pretty sure. Anyway, just to show you with this, what you can do is, I go to the settings for this one. Oh, that's my whole app server. Anyway, files. You can run things, but it's also for, I can't, where's my settings? Project settings, that's what I was looking for. So you have your live preview automatically, and it's using browser sync to do it. But you also can get your file watcher. You can have, for your packages, you can have it do image optimization. I'm not a big fan of theirs. I would maybe run other ones. But you can process HTML files from Pug, all of that, Haml, whatever you mark down. As a CSS, you can make source maps. You can do all of the prefixing, minifying, the type of thing you'd set up like a gulp package for, different builds and stuff. You can do your Sass. You can run. It's actually set up for Dart Sass, the newest one. But if you wanted to switch to Node for some reason, you could. Auto prefix it, minify it, the type of stuff you would normally do, but it's all with a GUI, which is really nice. They post CSS, really, really, really cool. And custom tools too. You can bring in some extra stuff if you need to. So it is a pretty cool if you don't like using command line. Except I forget how to check it. There used to be a different way to get it on your phone with Live Server. It was really easy. Anyway, live preview. Okay, let's just see if I can get it in here. Chrome. I've never done a video about pre-pros. I've used it. One of my old videos where I built out a site, I did use it, so I did mention it and sort of show some basic things with it. So if you are interested in it, it's not what I'm looking for though. Man, I haven't. I'm using it for something else. It's the first time I've used it in a long time. And it's the newer version of it right now. Oh, here we go. Network preview. Ah. That's what I was looking for. Is this gonna work? Come on. There we go. Oh, it went away. There. Style stage. No, I don't. Let's 1 second. I'm getting the same problem. So it still has the like that. So that sort of sucks. But just to show you, actually, if you're interested in it, you can get it for free actually and run it all the time. It just has an annoying pop-up like every 10 minutes saying you can buy this. Or it's like 30 bucks, I think, if you want this. But again, all of this you could do for free, just setting up through NPM. I do have a video where I do a basic build, which I think includes browser sync, actually. Synchronize browsers. So now, actually, my browsers are synchronized. So if oh, you can't see my, but here, whoop, there. If I scroll here, is it working? Oh, there you go. I'm scrolling on my phone. Oh, it's because it's in the mobile view. But anyway, you can see I'm scrolling on my phone right now, and it's scrolling on my browser on the computer. It's kind of weird because one's in desktop mode and one's not, so they're not perfectly set up or synced, but the fun of browser sync and using those. One nice thing actually with prepost is when you save, okay, I can turn off my phone because that's distracting. When you save, it does like a transition on your updates instead of just having them happen. But sourdough. Oh, the software is sourdough. We did it in prepost. I mentioned it on the Discord the other day, actually. This is the software, prepost.io. And then to get the live server in it, so I just, well, here, I'll turn off the synchronize because that's annoying. But once you run your live server on the project, then you go to, on this little live preview guy, and then you just click on, I don't remember where I went anymore. Oh no, what did I do to get? Oh, here, the network preview. So on this guy, because you can set up the server, so it's where your server is. You can actually set up for an external, install certificates and all that, but then network preview, and it gives you the URL, or if you can scan the QR code. You can also set this up as an FTP client too, so you can upload your stuff. But yeah, there it is. And as I said, the trial for it's unlimited. You just get a pop-up every 10 minutes or something. It has all the features, or that's what it used to be. That was a long time ago. I've been using it on and off for a long time. This was from Pahosler? Learn this one weird trick to debug CSS. Yeah, outlines are the best. Oh wait, nothing too special. Soft white lines, introduce the da-da-da. Does he go further into this? Anyway, that's not G. Oh, so it doesn't go crazy on the... That's interesting. If you have SVGs, yeah, I can see the outlines going nuts. And he turned off all the shadows and stuff too, just so you can see things better. I know what's causing my issue, I just don't know what... Yeah, I know what is making the thing happen, I just don't know why it's happening. But definitely using outlines is definitely the right way to go. Do I have any coffee left? Or do I have to go over to water? I don't know yet. I have a bit. Okay. So for now, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to maybe dive into that another time because I have no idea what's causing it. Have a good dinner, Manny. Keep going down. Was it? Oh. Ah, neat. I mean, I've seen things like this before, though. I think all they do, like, it is handy. It's nice you can do it in one click. But I mean, all they're really doing is coming to the CSS and just doing their outline, right? Outline 2 pixels. He did his a little different. Solid, and then he was doing, well, an HSLA. But whatever. You know, at the end of the day, and then he had that special thing in there just to make sure it doesn't go wild. Oh, I'm not on this one anymore. There we go. It doesn't go wild with the SVGs. In this case, we're okay. So it is this guy breaking out of the container that seems to be the issue. Except, wait, what? This looks different than when I looked at it before. What if I open it in Firefox? Is it Firefox? Ah, see, look at the outlines in Firefox. I knew it was different. So in Chrome, it's working better because my outline's actually doing what it should be doing. My container is the outside one here, and that's the size of my container. Whereas here, it doesn't seem to want to do an outline. Like the outline of the container is being stretched, even though it's really not, because you can see these aren't breaking out of the container. So Chrome's actually showing the outlines better. If I did it with borders, we saw earlier it actually rendered properly in Firefox. Yeah, you don't have to change your CSS. I agree. I don't know. I've just gotten such a habit, and with it being one line of CSS, it doesn't bother me to do it. See that though? This is this is what I talked about. You can see it's like a trend. Oh, off just went off, but when I turn it on, it like fades in. So pre-post, when you make changes, it transitions your changes, which is kind of cool. And through all that, I broke my. I do want to. Okay, how do you turn text? I have a video on this too. I mean, there's so many things I've done videos on now that I've never used after I did my video. It is CSS text sideways. Text orientation. Vertical. Oh, I don't want to do it. If I remember right, there's not a good way to do it. Manish is asking if I use JavaScript. There's no JavaScript in this project. The scroll bar was done in the last video, which I think is still up on... That one's on YouTube. You should be able to find it on YouTube. But really quickly, it's just this. Right, this is it. This is everything right there. All of this. Yeah, that's everything for the scroll bar. It doesn't work in Firefox though. You can see I did a different one just to change it a little bit. But obviously it looks a lot better in Chrome. All right, so the next thing we want to do, I have to fix this grid. Because I do like this idea of it pushing them out of the way. What could we do? What could we do? What could we do? I was doing 1FR, but I don't think I want 1FR. I'm also thinking I can keep my container size, but then these ones can have a different width. So width here, or not width, max width. I'm going to make them a bit bigger. I sort of broke stuff with this line, I think. My grid template columns now. One min's asking if I can set the H1 to take 2 columns. My H1's over here though, it's not in the grid. I could do it for this. I could have this be different, but I'm not, like, all of these are H2s. Like everything we see here is an H2, so they're all going to behave the same way. I don't know if this is going to work. No, it's not going to work because I have the sticky position sticky on them, so what I was thinking wouldn't work. Actually, what if I did this? Max width 70. This might look kind of weird, but margin left of 0. I'm going to break things a little bit. Why is it? Oh, I have padding and padding. Padding of 0. Padding left of 0. Border radius on my H2 would be all the way up here. Article H2 border radius. Actually, I want to leave that one like that, right? So it's only here where I'm going to change it. Article H2 border radius is going to be 0.25, no, 0, 0.25, 0.25, 0? Yes. So that makes these two straight and those two round. My padding's going to change a little too. Padding left can be 1em. Cool. Let's fix my grid now. I can do I could even set this at like 7 rem. And then the second one is going to be a min max of the smallest doesn't really matter. And then the biggest will be 50 ch. What? Why are you here? Why is what? Would using Bootstrap columns be an alternative to using CSS Grid? No. Bootstrap columns would be an alternative using Flexbox because they're built using Flexbox. So definitely. Oh snap! This is gonna stay here. The problem, there's a container and then another container. So you can see here there's one container and then the second container. So the double container is breaking everything right now. So let's just grab all of you and then say article.container. Go here. It's kind of ugly too, eh? I mean, I don't mind websites that are more left focused than being centered on the screen. But I don't think that's, I don't know, what do you guys think? But yeah, the Bootstrap is completely built with Flexbox. I don't know if they introduced Grid in 5. I haven't looked at 5 at all. But it's just, it's its own thing. You could do something like this with Flexbox too. I'm not saying, we're not stuck with Grid. But I would have to change the HTML a lot to be able to do it. Yeah, there's too much white space on this side, I agree. I'm trying to think if we get more creative too with our different sections, because this container, what if I did... Everything there is okay. All right, I sort of broke stuff up there too. That's okay. My container really got busted. What I'm thinking of instead then, like, could we even... What's the aside? What's in the aside? I never... Can aside, main, aside, I completely forgot we had one. Maybe we could bring that up on the... the aside could go on the side. Currently stage styled. That's this stuff. This is starting here, the aside, and then we have another aside there. It's just a little difficult because like here in my main I have a container. This has one. I mean, I could set like a whole thing up for grid. So we could have the asides come on the side there and fill up some of that white space. That is one possibility. The company uses its own custom Bootstrap / CSS grid structure. Yeah, and I mean, you can do nice, really amazing layouts with just Flexbox. We've been doing it for a long time now. I do think a lot of companies use custom solutions too. It's not, it's worth doing if you're doing a lot of websites, and it's nice when everybody can be on the same. I think like for something like this, it's a one-off. It really doesn't matter what I do. I think if you're working in a team and you're working on multiple projects, having a very standard convention is very important. body. I have my skip link. I need to do something with that too. It's hidden right now, which is fine. But then we have my header, my nav, and then my main. So if I did body, I know it shouldn't be down here at the bottom, but oh, this should be in my media query actually, so it's fine. Body, display, grid. Should I do it? I like using the grid shorthand, but it's so much easier to do grid template columns, to do it the long way first. So you don't have, I can think about one thing at a time then. So I want 2 columns, right? So let's just say I did, this is where subgrid would really help out. Oh, I wish, if I had subgrid, I would do something different here, but I'm not gonna, it'd be hard to make it work in Chrome, so it's not worth it. Grid template columns is going to be what? I'm just gonna do, again, it's nice to set up easy things at first, which is gonna break, I don't even know where my navigation went now. It vanished. Didn't see that coming, but okay. Then grid template areas. I'd want to have my header, nav, main, aside, footer, I'm guessing. Oh, but you know what? There is a problem. I have my main, and then I have 1, 2 asides, and then my footer. I mean, we could do aside 1 and main aside 2, I guess. Let's see if this is going to work. Header, grid, area, header, nav, grid, area, nav, main, grid, area, main, aside first of type, grid, area is aside 1, aside last of type, grid area aside 2. Is that gonna work? No? Oh, it did work. This is just way down there now. I'm gonna go over to Firefox so we can see why this is happening. Actually, let's just see in Chrome. Do I have... Is it behind? You might have to enable it. I know they brought in some sort of better... I haven't used it though, so whoop, not what I wanted to click on. They brought in something for grid. I just don't know how to get to it. So CSS overview is really cool. Does anyone know how to get semicolon on nav? Set variables for classes in grid area. What do you mean? If anyone knows how to get the Chrome grid inspector, which maybe it's behind a wall still, I don't know. But here, body. And can I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Display area names. And I think now somebody told me if you hover, look at that, you can highlight the different areas. So that's pretty cool. But the issue that's come up is this area here, which is part of my main, is huge. Because my main is so big, it's stretching this whole thing to be really long. And because this is falling into 2 separate cells, those cells have to stretch to fit that. That's something where Flexbox, this wouldn't happen. But it does come up because of the row and the row typey thing. You can see when I hover on that, like the whole area is still purple, whereas this, it's only the top or the bottom. So this is starting in the middle. Trying to think if there's a way to fix that. Oh, Prettier added the semicolon. Did I not put one? Here? Yeah, I'd add it. If you only have one element in there too, it doesn't matter if you forget it. Because I'm pretty sure that we can't do an align self start or anything because the whole cell is being stretched out, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's... Oh, thanks, Coding Garden. CJ, thank you. Looks like some people are heading on over. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Undead Picks, if you have any... Oh, I already did that. Oh, is it this that you wanted me to do? A bunch of people coming over from Coding Garden. That's awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Car Talk is asking, do you have a convention for organization in bigger, more complex projects in SCSS? Doing a pretty awkward design with a lot of nicely designed elements, but complicated for CSS. Also have the joy of working with a company who have 15% of their customers using Internet Explorer. Yeah, nice. Mini raid, awesome. Welcome everybody. Yeah, so I mean I used to use what's it called? SAS 7.1 pattern. I used to use this a lot. I still sort of use something like this. SAS Guidelines is an awesome site. And architecture, is it there? 7.1. Here we go. So just having it set up like this, I used to do something a lot like that. I still sort of have a similar thing with layout, components. I have a base. I have my base, my components, my layout. I've changed things a little bit because I have, well, abstracts, if I have my mixins and everything can go in there. But I have like a utilities one now. So, because not everything is a component, so I'll have utilities that get brought in first, then my components that get brought in after that. Layout I tend to, I know pages can have their own, but I tend to include it in the layout and just give them their own file, their own partial if they need something in there. But I find this, it is a good starting point, and then you sort of customize it a little bit as you go from there. Oh, you know what I could do? What if I did, or they're going to overlap then though, right? Or I just, whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Yeah, I just broke everything like that. Yeah, it's SAS Guidelines, really good. Like just for overall, like even for naming conventions, other stuff, like he has some really good ideas and stuff. I've sort of, if I'm getting like a really good starting point from something like this, and then the more you write, they sort of evolve a little bit. You do want to be careful if you're working in a team though, just to make sure that everybody's sort of on, on the same page. Gokai, you're saying you came here from Coding Garden for CSS help. Anything specific? I'm having fun with CSS right now, but if there's anything specific you'd want to look at, do let me know. Why? Oh, right. What if I... Because this is 2 columns now, it's not going to do it. So here I don't want 1FR, 1FR. I want What if I did max content 1FR? Whoa, not what I thought would happen. Okay. I have my overflow hidden off, so it's disappeared. Not at all what I wanted. That's one way to fix it. Or what if it was auto even? Auto could probably work, but it's smushing it, no. Or 1FR auto? I'll think about that a little bit. Could you hack it with more rows on the main? I have... Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. I could probably do it, yeah, if I set up like a whole, like main, you could, but it's still gonna have issues as you're resizing just because the content is getting longer and shorter. So as we get to smaller screen sizes until we drop the grid, so as long as those two columns are there, the main keeps getting longer and longer as the space for it decreases. So it's gonna be hard to really do it unless you had so many. Like if we did something like that and then just had, actually let's undo that for a second. If this one ends up being, or it could even be the aside too, but then it's just a blank, and then something like that might work, I guess. Oh, it's screwed up a little bit, but yeah, you can see that it did bring all this other stuff over to here where we wanted it. The 1FR here is screwing stuff up, apparently. Anyway, there, I guess that looks a little bit better. Yeah, so I mean, something like that technically would work. It's a little hacky. I probably have a whole bunch of just empty rows now. Where is it? Yeah. Somewhere near the bottom, I would have a whole bunch of empty rows now, but... Hi, Tintin, welcome. Gokai Bluer? I'm trying to position some images on a project I'm working on, and it's been a real female dog. I've been racking my brain for 3 days, and I can't get the thing to be where I need it to be. If there's some kind of way you could help me out, maybe look at my code and tell me where I'm doing wrong. Do you have, if you can share it live, like if you have it on like a code pen or something that you could share, I could dive in and take a look. In general, I mean, it depends if you're using grid, flexbox, positioning. There's so many ways, you know, different things, but if you give me a bit more information, I don't mind, because I've hit a wall right now with what I'm doing on this one. I might play with the colors a little bit. I don't know. I'm not in love with where this went today. Someone wanted me to bring in this style stage as a background element up here. Maybe we could look at doing that too. Undead has to leave now when all the action is on. Yeah, that's all right. We'll be back. I'll be back. Thank you for all the contributions and ideas and help along the way. Oh, Manny, that was a quick dinner. I mean, throw the link in, and then I could always take a look for the GitHub. We could see. I might just copy and paste from GitHub really quickly and take a look, but in the meantime, I'm going to look for some colors. What was my main color that I used? Whoops. I want something sort of like that, actually. Why is that my axe? Did I use that anywhere? 1 of 5. I have used that. Darn. Okay, that's a really... What if I just change that, actually? Oh, I can't use that. Okay. but I do like how the green works a little bit, so that shouldn't be accent. I mean, it's just a dark color. Why did I call it? I think that was from when I started. All right, let me. What I'm going to do first, actually, Gokai, you sent. Oh no. My laptop just died, I think, or it's not dead. The battery's fine. It's plugged in, but this happened to me last time too. Yep. Darn it. Okay, 1 second. I might have to share my screen. I use my laptop as a second screen, but it's connected wirelessly, and the connection just died. But I had a whole bunch of windows there. They might all pop up on the screen in a second, but let's see if I can... Oh, there, everything just came here. So you know what? I'm going to open the Figma first. We don't need to see this. I'm going to try and get my second screen up first, though. But just looking at this... Oh. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to try and reconnect. If you could put in the chat what's what seems to be causing the biggest issues. And connect. I'm just going to try and connect back to my... It doesn't want to connect. Because with one monitor, with a few different things going on, this is a little tough. Couldn't connect, reconnect. I hate when this happened to me before and I can't even unpin this or anything. Okay, whatever. Let's, because I can't get to the chat now without, what if I just do this? And I'll open you. Sorry guys, I can open that GitHub and then I'll get rid of that for a sec. Oh, the GitHub didn't want to work. It might be a private project too. So I can't take a look at that right now. Let's see if I can reconnect. Oh. This better not be what happened to me before. My whole computer sort of locked up last time. Right before I went live, I was trying to connect and I ran into issues. Okay, I'm just going to move this. Can I pop out the chat here? I'm not very... somewhat new. Refresh chat. Okay, we'll just... I think there's a way of popping it out from Twitch and not from Streamlabs. Right. But I don't even have Twitch open right now, I don't think. Or I might... Yeah, my whole... Okay, I'm just going to keep going. I can't actually switch windows or anything. This happened to me before when it didn't reconnect to my screen and I get this little thing at the top. I'm going to have to get... Actually, I have a HDMI somewhere. I'm just going to have to do it the other way because it seems that when it disconnects from the screen wirelessly, it just causes all sorts of problems. I can't use system settings. I can't... Like, there's a whole bunch of things that just go off. Except now I can't see my chat. So what if I... Is this going to work? Nope, because I can't see my chat anywhere now. Okay, let's see if I have Twitch. I can't Alt-Tab. Oh, is that it? Let's pull that off a little bit. Can I get my chat open or not? Oh, there's a chat. Can I pop that out? Pop out. Aha, okay, I have chat again, at least. So I can't Alt-Tab and I can't do... running a little bit on Handycat. Welcome to the chat room. Except I have my chat open on the side, but I don't see any old messages apparently. Which is weird. Oh man, I shouldn't have minimized. I'm sort of stuck now. If somebody could chat in the chat just so I can see if anything's actually popping up. Because if not, I might disconnect and come back in 10 minutes or so. Because I might need to reboot my computer. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Sourdough. Okay, Yeah, I'll need the GitHub link again. And then we can try and take a look. And I wish... Oh man, this is so frustrating. Okay, that's fine. I can work with what I have now. Can I at least do this? Okay, I can... There we go. I'm just going to download it. Oh, did that? You know what? Ah, that fixed my problems too. Downloads. I don't know if I can reconnect, but at least that has got my Windows working again. That's fine. Oh wait, I just realized something. Anyway, we'll see. Yeah. Such a mess. And this is... Let's see if I'm able to... Portuguese is fine. Yeah, okay. I just... I don't even know, because that's what I was worried about when I saw that it said React. Okay, 1 second. Let's... Where's VS Code? Let me just save all. Everything's okay. Open folder. I don't know if I have... recently, it's been a while now. Whoops. But... I don't think I have everything I'm going to need to get things working. And it would take me a while to install everything. If you have... I mean, just looking at this design, I could see certain things that would be a bit annoying. But overall... Okay, yeah, the wireless connections are really helpful, but I mean, I have a HDMI laying around. I could just plug it in. I was just being lazy to try and find it. And let me just see actually something in the files here. I'm just trying to think of how I can help really quickly without having to run, like, get the whole thing up and running. Oh, not what I thought would open. Is there anything specific in the layout that you're having trouble getting to go where you want it to go? You said that there's like issues with having parts of the design where you need them to be. Let me know if there's something specific, or if there's something you could recreate in a link that I could just open up really fast. I'd be happy to. Let me try this one more time. Let's see if it finds my screen. In the meantime, aside background. I just want to see something quick here. That's the footer. Yeah, I mean, the HDMI, I just don't know where it is, so I'm not going to run off and get it right now. But I have the chat on the side here. I can see it on my screen. And if I get this working, I don't think I'll get it back up. But for now, it's fine. At least I can see the chat. Yeah, Gokai, if I have it as a non-React project, it would, just so I can open it up without having to do like a full npm install on everything, it'd probably, just because that's going to take a little while to go through. And I also think I haven't, since I've got my new build, I don't think I've done anything with React, so I'm worried that I might have to install a few other dependencies and stuff. I'm trying to think. And maybe I'd be set up to run it, but I haven't worked on a React project in a really long time, so I don't know if I have everything I need. The boy and the girl with the buttons, especially, the last time I worked on a React project too, there was the issues of I was on Windows, and that wasn't React itself though. I mean, there's no issues there. It was just with the build, I had some issues. The boy and the girl with the buttons, like that whole bottom half with the blue background. Oh, here. And then she sort of slides off. There's different ways we could do something like that. Oh, just like that? I mean, we could do something just to give you a really, even if it was, it's a little bit harder if you do want the girl to disappear. Is it easier? Maybe it's easier. I mean, I would probably set up just say whatever I'm going to call it. Whatever. I'm just going to do a wrapper for now. Yeah, whatever. And then I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but here we could have our buttons. This shouldn't be wrapper. Whatever. If we did something like that, it gives it the 3 columns. I could do button. Oops. I mean, this is really messy, but display blocked so they're on top of one another. No? Oh, there we go. Okay. And then I keep hitting save. I'm in CodePen. I don't have to. Do here. I mean, image and splash it. Height or width first? 200 over 600. Splash it. I mean, we could do something like that, right? And like button font size for rem, something just to make it bigger so we can see it a bit more. It's not exactly what you have, obviously, but it's like that idea where obviously his hand's going underneath, but if the image stops right there, it's a little bit different, I guess, because that's rounded. Makes it a little trickier. Because the other option is if it's a background image, it's not so bad, but then like she disappears, you could have each picture as a separate background image too. So if we did, instead of all of that, we could set it up really simply, actually. If you had, like, say we have a display full or display button box, for lack of a better name, we could do button box background image, and because the nice thing here is you can actually set two. So URL is on splash it 200 over 500, let's just say. It's gonna not work right now. Button box padding top and bottom, let's just say 400 pixels, 50 pixels. Give us some size. Okay. But then what we want to do is the background image, we want two different ones. Or first, actually, background image, then background repeat, no repeat. So that's there. And then what we could do is bring in the second image. I always forget if there's a comma or not. So URL on splash it 200 by 501, just so it's a different picture. I guess it's with a comma. And then background position would be top left. Is it comma top right? Does that work? Yeah, there we go. So you have your two background images. So you can see that it's like it's growing and shrinking, but this one's positioned top left, that one's positioned top right. We could get our buttons. Display flex, flex direction column. Justify content center. Oh, the padding's screwing stuff up now. Okay, whatever, 50 pixels padding, and then height of 150. I don't like giving heights usually, but whatever. It'll center the buttons that way. And align items center. There we go. And you get your two buttons, and then you have the background image there. But then you could have, like, with a media query or something, you could turn off one of the background images so it disappears. Or you could play with the positioning of it maybe so something happens. That could be an idea. I don't think I do too good at a cyberspace.dev online tournament for JavaScript developers. I would come in last. Let's just download it again. So annoying. It used to automatically open my, I think I turned that off, and now it's in my big mess of downloads that I really need to clean up and just delete all of. What am I doing? Let's open it in VS Code. Open folder, downloads. Oh no. It's okay, let's see if we can get it up and running a little bit. Oh, I don't have the images. I guess that's the main thing. Index. I see the CSS. Why is it not working? Oh, maybe it is. Something's not working though. Everything just... That's fine. That's okay. Main container. Oh, I know why. Find and replace. Find class name, replace with class. The fun of React, right? There we go. Save. Haha, there we go. Cool. That looks better. And do these images have sizes? Because they look like they've given them sizes. Since I don't, so you have the boy, man is an SVG, and then the girl is the SVG there. And then, okay, so bottom stuff. Boy, container buttons, girl. Bottom stuff. So what did we set that up with? Bottom stuff. Find bottom stuff. Display flex, space evenly. I mean, that should work. Oh, this is where it's screwing you up. The position fixed is the whole thing of display flex is going to go out the window. It completely is going to take it out. So like anything you're trying to do with them, the position fixed is going to just annihilate. So actually, let's just come in. I'm going to replace them just with Unsplash again. I don't know how big they are, but if we just do... come on. There we go. Actually, we'll just do both of them at the same time. Boy. If we come in and say HTTPS on splash it, I'll just do the same thing, 300 over 600, and the second one, 601. Take rest, Kevin. You're off, Manny, again? Bye. Maku Zamu. I'll go with Maku. Hi, Maku. Welcome. So with that, now, so they're both overlapping each other, I'm guessing. So if I take off position fixed, what happens? There we go. We got the two of them. Now, obviously, they've shrunk down, so they're probably not. I just want to go back to what we want this to look like. So you want the girl, the guy, and then the two buttons in the middle. If I go back to your... One thing I would suggest here is actually making them use a button. I know when we're using React, people tend to make everything a div. Go with buttons, because they're already interactive. Their accessibility is going to be better. There's many reasons that, you know, if you have an element that can do it, you might as well go with it. Now, one issue that's going to happen, I think, bottom stuff, width 100%, height 40%. Do we need the height? I don't know if you need a height on that, unless there's, you might have a reason why you have that on there. Yeah, I know what it's like. I've had messy code before too. I feel like there's padding on here somewhere that I don't see. Okay, so this is where I'm guessing that's the right side. Does this have padding? That's where the background color is coming from. Let's just take a look here. Boy. Oh, the boy. Okay, wait. Okay, that's fine. There's a small little gap there from something, but that's okay. Boy, boy, boy. I don't... Boy, girl. Oh, okay, they're in divs, and then there's the image inside of it. I'm just going to turn that off for a second. I know it's busted here, but there, it's already looking a little bit better. Is that why we have the height on there? The problem with the height 40% is they won't touch the bottom. Maybe, I mean... It really depends on what you're making this for. If it's going to be something that, well, you have a mobile view though. I'm just worried about it being for like responsive reasons, because there's the easy thing to do would be actually a position fixed and set it to the bottom, or we have the right, and then, okay, in the right, we have the logo name, and then the bottom stuff. So on the right, logo, right, display flex, column, that's perfect. So then here we could do height, 100% viewport height. I would set a minimum height on this just in case somebody does shrink things down. You don't want it to, you might lose the buttons, like if they had a really small screen. So that way at least you know you can't lose the content. Or get some weird stuff happening. So a min height might just solve some issues on that. I'm just gonna turn a display flex. Oh, that's okay. Logo name, that's on therapy. Font size, that's fine. Bottom stuff. Okay, so what I would do is here on your right, you did display flex direction column, which is good because they're all stacking on each other. Because here, if I did my right, like all the direct children, outline 3 pixels, solid red, we can see we have one at the top, one in the middle, and then this one here, I think. Oh, they're overlapping a little because of the way outlines are working, but so on this, actually, then I could do a justify content space around between. There we go. And it's going to keep this stuck to the top. It's going to stick that right in the middle, and it's going to put that all the way down at the bottom. So that's probably the easiest thing to do. Now, normally justify content, you're thinking left and right, but because you switched the flex direction, we're changing the main axis. So the main axis is usually across. Now the main axis has been flipped up and down. So justify content works up and down. So if we do something like that, then at least we start getting, I think already, and then you could do the same thing actually here, but that's the bottom stuff. You have your display flex. Now it would be in align items center is going to do it that way. And then you could do like I think it was a class of button, right? So if you just did button display of block, they'll stack on top of each other, I think. Why not? Button, container buttons. Do we have something? Dot container dot buttons? No? Oh, buttons, plural. There we go. So they'll stack. Or you could even just do the dot container buttons. I mean, there's 2 choices. You could do display flex here, or again, if I did display block, and then I could do margin 0 auto, or maybe like a 1M auto to space them out a little bit. Something like that could work too. So the images, I mean, if they're actually images here and not background images, like I'd sort of suggested before, I just want to see why we're not touching the left side. The image is there, it's inside of this. What's that empty space from? That's my boy and the girl. So here the height. If I turn that off just for fun, turn that back on. What? See, this is like now I'm scrolling because actually I screwed some stuff up because we have some horizontal scrolling too. Why is height 90% shrinking them that much? That shouldn't change anything. Oh, it's 90% of the 40%. Okay, right? So if I did that as 100%, which we might want, there we go. So it can actually touch the bottom. And then to get it to, well, they don't, did you have them bleeding out the sides? Yeah, they sort of go right up to the edge, right? And or she doesn't, but you could play around with that a little bit. But if we want that going all the way to the side, yeah, Manish is saying height is not our friend in certain cases. Most of the time, height is not our friend. Almost never. There are times where you want it, but for the most part, height causes problems. Bottom stuff. display. Oh, the space evenly means the space distribution in here. It's like here when I did, actually, let's just go back up to here. When I did space between, if I did space evenly, it's putting some space on top, some space underneath, some space on, like it's equal spacing everywhere, including on the outsides. So right now that's happening where it's adding the spaces on the outsides too. So instead you could do space between and it'll push them out. We still have some space. Oh, now it's just because my image is inside the boy. I don't know if I would put the display flex actually, or if you are going to use the display flex. Like if you don't have display flex, it's going to keep the images at their natural size, or if, as long as they have a max width on them of 100%, you should be okay. Like here, if I just did IMG, or you have your SVG, so like depending, but max width 100%. Actually, because it's an SVG, and then I think we can actually turn off all of that. There we go. It's sticking out the bottom a bit because my images are too big probably. Or just with the height of 40%. The left, that's left. So let's just see, the right has a height of 100 VH. I mean, what would happen if I did actually a set height? We're still getting the overflow anyway. We don't need our outlines anymore. Logo, so height is 10, 40. I think max height 100%. We might have to play with that a little bit, but yeah. Manish is asking if I've played with Cube CSS. I'm working on a project now where I'm not using it 100%, but I am using it a lot. So, or I'm using the ideas of it. So I'm sort of doing my own interpretation, but I am really enjoying it. I am falling into some of my old ways of working too, so it is a bit of a meld, but I am really enjoying it. I think it's cool. I will have some content on it. Maybe in about a month from now, might be a little bit before it's ready. Yeah, if we take that off, it gets... Oh, there we go. Thanks. That fixed it. We could also use VHs. Some who asked... Mustafa was asking what... Use VH instead. I think that would work as well. But here, just not having the height, and then the images are their natural size. I think it was the combination of the spacing, maybe. And then because it was told it had to have a specific height, I think it was working, what was causing the issue. So Car Talk was right. Take off the height and we fixed the problem. The another thing you could do to ensure this is, well, we use the margin, we use the space between, so we know it's spaced out. But because you do have that spacing, like now I stuck your logo to the top, but when you had your logo before, you did have it off the top a little bit. So you could still have, like on this, you could do like a margin top of, I don't know, 1em, and it's going to move it down that 1em, and it's not going to break anything else. It just sort of takes that into account with the spacing. That margin's part of its box with the box model and everything. So even though it's sort of outside the box in a way, it'll work well enough that, or it does its job. And you can, so instead of having to like do a margin top of 1% or something, or like setting a height, you should just be able to have the image at the size you need, and it should fall in. It is something, I think one of the reasons we're using percentages is just, if something like this happens, what happens then? You don't, if we're on a small screen, I would say that it might, this is where you'd sort of want it to start scrolling, to be honest. I think it's nice, the idea of like these apps that are, you know, it's a single page app, it's all on the page, there's no scrolling. If it's a web app though, I don't think people are so against scrolling. And if they're on, you know, if I'm holding my phone this way, I know most people are going to scroll this way too, but some people are going to turn their phone sideways. I've seen people do it. I don't know why, but unless you're watching a video. But if someone turns their phone sideways, you need to have something that's going to work, even if that does mean they have to scroll a little bit. In general, height equals bad, yeah. It's not always the rule. There are times, like even here, that's the right. I'm just curious, what if we did a min height there, and on my left, we did a min height. And if I do that, like eventually, I mean, there's some issues still, but at least we have some scrolling. So like you don't lose anything. Because like if somebody's on some weird phone and they're just, I don't know why you'd have your browser like this, but the fun of the web is you never know what the person is going to do. So if they set something up like this, you don't, like, your buttons could be gone. If this was just height of 100 instead of a minimum height. If I hit save, well, I'm still getting scrolling now. So I don't have overflow off, so it's not breaking anything actually. But actually you'll see now, like when I go down, it's because my images are actually overflowing, because the backgrounds aren't following. Whereas if this had a min height and a min height, it's allowing them to grow. So it's not the content overflowing out the bottom that's causing the issue. What I would probably be more likely to do is maybe the images themselves, like you had SVGs, I think, on that too. So if they're SVGs, they're scaling up and down and there's no issue. I don't think I need this anymore, right? One thing you might want to do is there's a little blue line underneath the images, just a max width 100. Oh, if it's an SVG, you won't have this unless you use the image tag. I forget what you used originally. If you're using an image tag, then you'll want to do a display of block on them, just so they can actually touch the bottom of the screen. People who browse the web sideways should be burnt. Yeah, I agree. But it happens, so. I put 100 VH to every section. Is that bad? It depends on how much content is in it. But I'm always, the difference that I always do, if I'm setting a width, I'm usually setting max widths. If I'm setting heights, I'm usually setting min heights instead of heights. Because let's just say you created, let's open up CodePen again. If we come in on something and you set up your site, and let's say we have 5 sections. So section times 5, each one has some paragraphs in it. Paragraph times 4 with, I don't know, lorem 15. And then I say section has a background of, section has a min height, or no, not a min height, a height of 100 VH. So if we do that, gotta spell height right. You get each section, and then each one is on its own. It has a nice background color. It looks really pretty. You have whatever you have in there, and it's working perfectly fine, and there's no issue. But then I go onto a small screen, and one of the sections just happens to have something weird where it has like 60, or I don't know, p times 25. I don't think, it's maybe an exaggeration, but this is looking fine. And then I get to this one, and all of a sudden the content from that is actually overflowing out the bottom, and it's crashing into the content in the next one. So that's like a big issue, right? And even if this had padding, which section was that I did the second one? So padding of, I don't know, 2M, and then section and of type 2. Could have just put a class on that, but background is light blue. So like now if I look at it here, everything's fine. I get to here, everything's fine. But again, when I get to the smaller screen size, the content starts spilling out the bottom of it. So it's just that, like, we don't know what browser sizes or windows people have. We don't know what situation they're in. You might add content later. So setting set heights, it's the risk of stuff overflowing out the bottom. And there's also, VH does have an issue with iOS as well. Yeah, if you set an overflow, give it a scroll bar inside, then having a height is good. For image, width 100% and height auto. Is this a good practice to follow? It is. You could do, I wouldn't do width 100%. I like max width on images. Again, we could do the exact same thing here. If I have an image, which HTTPS on splash it, I'm going to take a small one, so it's going to be 200 by 200. That should show up at the top here. So if I had image width 100%, it's going to stretch that image to fit. Now I'm exaggerating because I did such a small picture, but it gets blurry. You're losing quality because it's taking that tiny picture and it's making it huge. I'm assuming you're not going to run into that too often, but by saying max width, it means that the image can't be, max width means it will never get bigger than its original size, but if it needs to, it's able to shrink. So it's just a little bit, you're keeping the quality in case you fall into a situation. SVGs are different. So if it's an SVG, you can go crazy. The reason that we like putting height auto, you don't even need, you can see here, I don't need the height auto. I would do a display block though. It just solves problems. Just images are inline by default, that they behave like inline block. It's weird on that, but because they're inline elements, technically speaking, they're meant to be able to go inside text. So actually, let's just take off the display block for a second. And I'm going to put it right here. And so that's perfectly valid and perfectly fine. And you can see it's lining up with the baseline of my text. So the P letter here, let's just increase my font size. So you can see the P is sticking out the bottom. So all images by default, they're going to have this empty space underneath to take into account that. So by doing display block, we never put images in text like this. I don't ever see it anyway. So doing a display block on your images solves that issue of an empty space under them. And the reason it's good to put a height of auto is if you do have, I mean, ideally, you're actually saying width equals 200 pixels here, or 200, and height is equal to 200. The advantage with that is when the image is loading in, the browser is going to give it that size right away. So it won't cause, if the image is slow to load in for whatever reason, there'll be no jumps in content. It's like a placeholder 200 by 200 from the start because it knows the size. But if I do that, when my image shrinks, it's going to stretch it. So that's where the height of auto comes in. And now it will shrink and grow it in proportion. And Firefox and Chrome have implemented it, and I think it's coming soon to Safari, or they're considering adding it to Safari, where the browser's actually using this to figure out the aspect ratio of the image, and it speeds up performance and everything when it needs to resize the image. So if you have a width and a height explicitly put here, even though you're redefining it with CSS, it's actually going to make things go a little bit faster. So it is good for performance to do that. It is a bit annoying to have to do that though. Gokai, how did I set you off on the right path with all that? Or do you have anything else that you'd like to look at? I mean, and for the media query here, I don't think there'd be much to do. I would just hide that second image probably. And I guess that's it really. And then you could even, I'm just trying to think, like it would become 2 columns almost automatically then, I think. Images will never accept pseudo elements, Manish. I don't think so anyway. They're replaced elements. I don't think an image will ever be able to do it. It's just the way the images behave. It's the same as an iframe. You can't put it on an iframe either. And there's nowhere. Like if we look, yeah, look here. It'd be a bit easier. if I look here, like an image, there's nowhere for the pseudo element to go, because the pseudo element is, if I add to boy before content, if we come and look here, we have boy. The boy before is inside, but it's before the content of it, right? So boy and then boy before is inside this div. Images, there's nowhere for that pseudo element to go because this is the element, right? Right here. So like there's no closing tag to be able to put it in. Is that something that could be implemented? I guess so. You know, the browser could, when it renders the DOM, it could render it with a closing image tag. And then it does that with, I think Chrome does that with inputs. So here with the button, if I put an input type text, even though it's input close, I'm not sure if it does it with text inputs actually. I know some that it does. It doesn't there. What about type file? Oh, I'm in Firefox. Let's go into Chrome. So let's just go take a look. Oh, it's not even doing it here. Type file. I've seen it do it though, where there's a closing input, I thought. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's a little bit like that. Like there's no closing element, so I don't know. Like if I did input after content. Oh, see, that's interesting. This is in Chrome. Let me make it bigger so you guys can actually see it. So input, you can see its file, and then it's actually, the DOM, when it rendered it, has actually rendered a closing input tag so it can populate the after. Whereas if I take off that, when the DOM renders, there's no closing input. So it was the DOM's doing that automatically, or the browser's doing that when it renders the DOM. So I guess they could technically do that for images, but right now there's, you know, image, it doesn't. But I don't think that inputs are replaced elements either, so I don't think they need to. Whereas because an image is a replaced element, you know, it's, oh, what? We have an after. This is news to me. Position, absolute. Uh-oh, I was just saying that browsers don't do this and Chrome's doing it. Top 0, background red, padding 100 pixels. You can put pseudo elements on images, but it will only work in Chrome. That just blew my mind. That's crazy. So there we go. It is possible. As I was saying, it could be implemented where the browser puts it in automatically. But it will not work in Firefox because you can see I have my red box there, and there's no red box showing up over here anywhere. So they're not, the DOM's not modifying itself to do it. Huh. So it means Edge, it should work as well, right? Whoops. Oh, that's Edge. Yeah, works in Edge, which makes sense. I don't know about, I'm guessing not in Safari either though. Yeah, don't use it. It works in Chrome. Chrome's rendering engine. I mean, I'm wondering if this has, I'm wondering why they decided to implement that. It is a surprise, but again, it's Chrome only, so it's not going to work on iOS, I'm guessing. So like all of a sudden, anything on WebKit, I don't think it's going to do it. Stratusker. Some inputs, actually this, I think this is a Chrome only as well. Let's go take a look. I think this might be Chrome doing some crazy stuff here. I do know I'd seen that in Chrome before, but some input types are not replaced elements, and some input types are replaced elements, which is just weird. So I just assumed when I saw it that it was the type that wasn't a replaced element. But now it also makes sense why it was a question that had come up on my Discord, and someone had styled it using a pseudo element, and the pseudo element was working in. What if it's a type text though? I'm just curious. Can I put? So yeah, we'll see here. There's no pseudo element on it. This is in Firefox. If we come over to Chrome. And we find it. Does it? Ah, there we go. This doesn't either. So an input type text, it will not accept a pseudo element. Why? Wild. Why would it do it for an image? I have so many things going on right now. Did I do that? Or did I take it off? Maybe I took it off. That might be why. Let's try that. Input before content. Oh, it is doing it even on the text. It's there. So yeah, Chrome has gone crazy sauce. Sorry about that, Gokai. I'm CSS, and that's one thing. Like CSS it's one of those things that's really easy at the beginning, and then it's just when you're doing before and after. I'm just looking at the before and after. When I'm saying replaced element, the easiest to explain is with an image. So if I find my image here, when you have an image, it's not normally you have no closing image tag. So first off, the DOM. What we see here is the DOM, document object model, right? It's the DOM, and it's how when Chrome looks at your HTML and your CSS and it builds your page, this is what is being built by Chrome. So it's not going to be exactly the same as your HTML itself, which is why we can even have pseudo elements that get added in with CSS, and why it's added a closing image tag here. So when Chrome, every browser's rendering engine will render the DOM a little bit differently. They have it's their own rendering engine. So they look at the HTML and then they paint it out their own way. It's rendered by their engine to build the site you see. So it can make changes, like it can add this closing image tag, which isn't even a real thing. An image, or like text, if you have text and you put it in, and usually the DOM looks a lot like your HTML, but if you have, that's another image. I'm trying to just see if there's any text. I don't know if or here, with a paragraph, like you have open paragraph, then you have the text and you have a closing paragraph. So the content is the content itself. When I'm saying replaced element, it's because this element is an IMG tag, but there's no, like, where's the content? It's an SRC, it's an attribute. Like there's no actual content here. It's just an element that's floating there that happens to have an attribute on it. So when it's rendered by the browser, it's pretty much replacing this with the source here. So there's no content itself as an element. It just happens to be an image that's being taken. So it's replacing where it sees this image with the content, which is this image. I'm saying the word image a lot. I hope that makes sense, because there's nothing that goes in these dots here, right? There's nothing in between a opening and closing image tag. And don't use closing image tags. It's not a real thing. And just to show you, actually, this is in Google's style guide. I'm just going to use your page that you shared here as an example. I'm just going to strip everything out. I'm going to put title, hello world, and let's come down here and say h1, hello everyone, paragraph, and you know what? I'm just going to do a opening paragraph with no closing one. This is a paragraph, and we'll have a few of them. I'm going to save that. You can see even Prettier got a little confused. If I come and look here, check this out. If we come and look, there is a head, and there is an HTML, and there's a head, and the title is inside the head. It's even linking. Oh, that's for my extensions. But there is the title that's coming in here, even though there is a head element, even though I never put that here. And then we get to the body, and then in my body, you can see there's actually closing paragraph tags, even though I didn't put any here. So this is the difference between what I'm writing here, and you can do the same thing with like a list. If I had, now this I'm not sure, but if I have an OL, and then I know this though, list item, and whoops, list item, and we just make a bunch of them. You see, like it's the same idea. It's closing these list items automatically because it knows that you can't have a list item inside of another list item. So this is the difference between the HTML you're writing and the DOM, which is the final rendered version of that. So Google goes, I have a paragraph starting here, but this one's never ending. That means it must close. So it's automatically putting that closing thing there. Don't write your HTML this way just because you can. I find it super confusing. You know, if you're that focused, if you're thinking performance gains by saving a few bytes, like just don't use JavaScript or something. Because, and even, but again, if you look at Google Style Guide, they actually talk quite a bit about this and how you don't need a head and all of that, because Google figures it out for you. Manish, oh, I'm glad you liked my 21-day responsive layout challenge. Strat saying, I know because input tags biggest problem was to place differently a placeholder attribute, and you couldn't do this by using a pseudo element. And I never thought that Firefox doesn't support pseudos and images. Mind-blowing. Regarding images, how will Firefox react if you use open? I think it's just going to ignore the closing image tag. I don't think it would break anything. But there's no reason to put the closing image tag even in Chrome because you can't really put anything in there. But the one nice thing with HTML in general, I mean, we could try and see what happens, but yeah, stick with Gokai saying he's going to stick with closing tags. This looks just messy. And if you're doing something like, I think if you're writing JSX, like I don't think it would take this. Yeah, let me, Juju, what time is it? I'm gonna have to go soon. Let's bring this back. We don't need that. I'll leave this like this. Let me just take off a couple of things and I'll find a way to share it with you easily. I know what I'll do. The HTML I didn't touch, right? Did I touch the HTML at all, Gokai, when I was doing it, or no? Manish, Chrome is good, but Firefox is the best friend for developers. For CSS, 100%. If you're doing JavaScript, I think there's more features in Chrome, or it's a little friendlier. At least, maybe not more features, but it's a little friendlier. But for CSS, Firefox is so much better. I hope that keeps being the story. Here, let's just check really fast. We have an image. I think the only thing I changed. Oh, we have closing image tags right now. You don't need to have those. And even if I save that, I don't have any pseudo elements set up right now. So there's no closing image tag here. So Chrome is even removing it from there, even though there's a closing image tag here. And I think it's going to be the same thing. Yeah, it just removes the closing tag because it goes, this is nothing, so I'm ignoring it. Okay, okay, I'm just going to do this. And save. There you go. You probably have to do a little bit more work, but it should get you pretty far along. Oh, that's wrong. Oh yeah, don't worry about that. That error. So we didn't make as much progress on what I'd already. That was fun though. That was a good sidetrack. For those who came in a little bit later, I was working on Style Stage, which was this one. and I got really sidetracked, and I don't know what I want to do with it at all. So it was a very welcome distraction there, Gokai. I didn't get through everything I wanted to do either. We wanted to... This is done. Do I have strike through on here? I don't know. Anyway, this is done. That I didn't do, so that I can save for next time. Part, whoops. Next time will be that. That one I did. That one I did. That I didn't do. Fall back for grid. That I did. Gokai, yeah, I'm new to Twitch. I've only done one stream before, but I'm going to start doing twice a week. No, next week will be only on Thursday, and then after that, it'll probably be 2 days a week. So I'll be doing Mondays and Thursdays, probably. Manish, I saw your video about Font Awesome. It's amazing, but the icons are not so great. Anything else I can try? That's fine. I'm so far off topic right now anyway. But if anyone has any suggestions on stuff I could do here, even just, you can let me know. Let me think. Live stream to do next time. Font Awesome. Alternatives to Font Awesome. I mean, there's other things you could do other than Font Awesome. There's other similar types of things where the icons are different. Someone did mention to me that there may be an accessibility issue with how I've set that up too, so I might look at doing it with SVGs instead. And I'm going to see if there's a way of populating the content with an SVG easily, because I might switch things around from there. So, okay. I'm going to stick around for another 20 minutes, and then I have to get out of here. I need to eat lunch, and I have to record next week's YouTube video. And if you want a preview, do I have it here? I'm going to be looking at 2 or 3 different ways. Probably this one. Oh, you know what? I might not have saved. It might be that one. Oh no, I didn't save last time I did it. That's okay. No preview then. I'm going to be doing SVG clip paths, animated SVG clip paths. Actually, I'll show it. Pop, dog. For YouTube, this video, I'm recreating this so that you can, if you can see the wave in the background, we'll look at how to do that. I found out they didn't even use a clip path to do it, but I'm going to look at actually how they did it, and I'm also going to look at how to do it with a clip path. Instead of how they did it. Theirs is a little easier actually, but close you, close you, close you. You have your own graphical goodies, so you don't have to use external. Yeah, I mean, that's ideally creating your own icons is awesome, but I mean, things like Font Awesome are cool. I want to see even for Font Awesome, what's other, I mean, there's so many icon sets that are out there now. If you just look up icon sets, it's just the free ones are always going to be somewhat limited, is always a bit of the issue. Is there, I really cheated on getting this like that, right? Oh, I'm in the wrong project right now. Open recent live stream. There we go. Is there a way I could do this without doing that? Or another option would be, what if I just did display flex? This is going to break everything. but then header flex, display flex, and then flex wrap. So that doesn't even have to be changed. My nav width 100%. And then my, what's it called? My main flex basis could be 70%. I mean, something like that works, right? Oh, but you're stuck down here. Darn it, it's true. That doesn't work. My work as a tech in show productions. I have so much time now, you can imagine. I'm thinking to start JavaScript course because all concerts, theater productions, and festivals are a no-no. Yeah. I mean, it's a good time to learn new stuff, that's for sure. It's a crazy time, eh? Can I display flex? That's not gonna work. Oh wait, maybe. No, it's not. The only thing I could do here is if I did aside. I'm just gonna give them each a different color. Background is light blue. Background is pink. So one of them's there, and then the other one's falling all the way down to there. I could do a flex basis of 15% for both of them, actually. This should fit together then, no? Why doesn't that wrap up to there? Is this taking up too much? But if that's at 70. Oh, it won't shrink smaller. Yeah, okay. And then this is just going to get too small. Like, I can get them to be there. The flex basis is an ideal size, but because of the way Flexbox works, it won't, like, see how this one's, they're both at 5%, but this one's actually smaller than this one. And that's happening because of, it goes to like, it's an ideal size, but it's not how small it's actually going to get. So I think it's this line right here is preventing this thing from getting any smaller. So because this is that long, like this won't shrink smaller than one word pretty much, whereas this, it's probably the word featured, I'm guessing, that's keeping it. I don't want them to go next to each other though, really. I was just seeing if I could. I really want to have my main, and then I want to have one and then the other, like what I had before. Like I want it to be like this without this, right? Is there a way to do that? Could I do, no, because I can't have, oh wait, maybe. If I save that again, and let's just change aside yellow, let's move you to here, and then background is light blue. So this is going back to a while ago where I had that problem where it's stretching the whole thing. But isn't there a way, instead of, if I didn't use grid template areas, maybe I could do it. But I don't know if it's worth it. Or I'm just missing something. I'm not sure. Isn't there an easy way I could do this? I feel like I'm racking my head over. Main, I have the aside here, and then the aside here, and then my footer. header nav main aside. Yeah, so like here, instead of using, I mean, we could even, let's just, I'm gonna comment you out. Grid template. Oh, whoops. Or even, what if I, okay, that should change. Ooh. Header would be grid column 1/-1, and the nav 2. I'm just trying to set things up so it doesn't break everything. My main will not have that, and the footer will, actually my footer would be the same thing, footer. So if I do something like that and hit save, it's completely broken. Yeah, I should draw it out. Grid column 1/2 aside grid column 2/3. Why do I have 1, 2, 3? Five lines. What's this guy doing? Oh, it's this. There we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, that makes more sense. And then I could do, I mean, it's not ideal, but then I could have grid column 1, then I could have grid column, grid row of 1/2. My, oh no, that's not going to work. My header is the grid row 1/2. Nav is, what am I doing? It's gonna be faster if I take my nav and do a 2/3. My main is a 3/5, 6. That'd be row. My grid column is the same. Grid column 1/2. Grid column is 2/3, and the grid row is 3/, grid row 3/4. Grid row 4/5. There we go. That does it. You know what? Could I have done all that with just... I might have... I could have kept the areas, yeah. If I kept all my areas, but I just delete... Oh, wait, 1 second. Just in case I have to redo all this, I'm just going to copy all of this. Copy, and then undo it. Just in case, so I can get it back. Forward. No, back. That's okay. If I just got rid of all that, it would still work, wouldn't it? Oh, that was silly. Okay. Yeah, grid lines, I hate using grid lines. I like grid areas so much more. It also, for mobile or for like redefining stuff, like I can make this so different at any size, and you're just playing with this, and all of this just stays the same. So nice. Okay, so that worked. It would be too much if like that's going to be too much, right? If we stick that and it follow, oh, that also breaks because they stack on top of each other. I feel like we're getting to like one of those bad WordPress sites where everything is sticky. I don't know. Anyway, I'd have to style this up completely differently. But it sort of is getting a little bit better now, I think, at large screens anyway. I think I need to fix that so it's not like glued here with this big space here. But I think that's better. And then when we get to, I'm gonna have to fix that media query because that's getting way too narrow. That's a little better, right? We get to there and then doop, it comes up like that. I don't, Valos is saying the min content on the grid template rows. Is it, not Valos, sorry, Valoa. I definitely, I don't think I need, I think I've done that a lot. I don't think I need to, well, it's working now, so I don't need to. And the reason if I took this off, it doesn't work, even if I did the min, just because like this first one, like it's splitting, it's making 4. So the main has to, I think, even if it was min content, it wouldn't be able to pull that other one all the way up, I don't think. Let's just see. Grid, template. Or is it the auto rows I need to do? Grid, auto, rows, min content. Would that work? Yeah, it's still, that one still ends up all the way here. And it would be the auto rows, right? Because I'm not defining them. Or would it be the template rows? Because I have template areas. Didn't change anyway. I have had to use that before, but I just think because of how it's being broken up right now, I do need that extra one here with a blank nothing, and then we can have that up there. Cool. So actually, I'm pretty happy. Whoops. I'm pretty happy. Why did my outlines all... That was weird. I'm a little bit happier with where that is. What's it looking like on Chrome? Hopefully it's okay. I'm not in love with my scroll bar. I love this thing, the whatever the track, not the track, the other part, whatever you call it. I'm not in love with the blue, but I didn't like it when it was white. I don't know what to do with it. Oh no. Chrome, refresh. Oh, okay, good. Okay, good, we're okay. I was really worried. And even see here, we're getting a problem with Chrome because I customized this a little bit. It's fine there, but I'm gonna have to fix it up a little bit. But there we're okay. I'm gonna have to do maybe some padding on the side just because it's sort of going underneath since I customized my scroll bar. My next Twitch live will be next Thursday. 1 second. Let's go check. Can I even, I don't want to look at my own channel, do I? I could go to my calendar, whatever. It's next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And after that, it would be every, what day are we today anyway? We're Friday. Yeah, it'd be next Thursday at 1 p.m. And then after that, it should be every Monday and Thursday. Mondays, 9 a.m. Eastern, and then Thursdays, 1 p.m. Eastern, I think is what I'm going to be trying for now, but I'm just getting started with this, so I'm going to see if I can even maintain that schedule, because I need to make sure I can still make my YouTube content and stuff like that. But I do think I'm done for today. I'm sort of happy where that got to. Got a little sidetracked, which was fun. Not as, I don't usually make as much progress as I think I will, because we're chatting and other things come up. But let's just see. For next time, fallback for grid, maybe. Fix asides for spacing issues. We definitely need to do, because there's problems on the side there. I think want to style my asides differently. I definitely want to change this a little bit as well. I think it's okay that we have like, you know, like it's okay. I think it's working, but maybe there's something else that we could make it look better. I'm not sure. We'll see. I have to fix my links too, because they're all stretching, but that's okay. I can fix that. That won't be a big thing. I won't put it in my notes. The footer needs to be done too. My navigation needs to be done. There's still a lot of work that I need to do on this thing, and I want to make it, it's kind of boring. I want to make it a little bit more exciting. But overall, I'm happy with it. I think it's starting to come together. So thank you everybody for hanging out. Let me just go to that one. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming and for being here. It was a lot of fun, and I'm going to be here more often, so looking forward to it. No problem for the help, Gokai. I'm glad that I could help a little bit. Hopefully it gets you on the right track. I know, especially when you're working on projects and you're just started getting into things and you're learning JavaScript and you're learning CSS and you're learning other things along the way too. It's a lot of stuff all at once, so don't feel too bad that it's a little bit weird. Especially CSS, you know, we always get into like positioning and heights, and in general, we want to let things be as natural as possible. So the more CSS you're writing for layout and I mean, I've gone a bit crazy now with my grid and everything, but it's usually if you find yourself really doing a lot of positioning and a lot of forcing things into place, that's usually when we start running into problems. Thank you, Manish. Have a good one. Have a good one. Thanks, guys, for hanging out for so long, too. I've been on here for a while. Car Talk. I'm glad. No problem for the streams. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, Grid is awesome. I really, really enjoy Grid. I'm sorry, I'm going like this because my microphone is in front of my chat now. This is on GitHub. I'll push the changes after I eat lunch. So in about an hour, the most recent version of it will be up there, but it's, I don't know. GitHub, it's not that one. Just github.com/Kevin Powell hyphenated, and you should be able to find it. But it is there it is. Style stage live stream progress. So I've only linked to the first one, so I'll have to update that to the link. I've done a couple of them on YouTube, so if ever you want to watch how I got started with it, they are long though. So, but you can check those out, and all the code, the most recent code will be up there soon. Hans, oh no, you missed. I'll be coming back on next Thursday, and then after that, I'll be hitting a regular schedule. That's the plan anyway. So yeah, if you check my Twitch on the schedule that's there, the only one that I won't be doing is the Monday coming up, because my kids will be home. So, but after that, the schedule that's here on Twitch, I should be trying to keep up with. Zubaza90, thank you for hanging out. See you guys next time. Thank you so much. Time for me to get some lunch. Bye, everybody. Oh, Beastman, will you make this stream a VOD? I think it stays on Twitch for 2 months. I'm really new to Twitch. I have no idea how any of this stuff works. And I think it's going to upload to YouTube automatically. I think I set that up. So I'm probably going to have it unlisted on YouTube, but I'll have it in a live stream playlist or something, or maybe it goes listed. I don't know how that works. But yeah, when the video is over, it should stay on Twitch at least, because I know my last one that I did is still here, so it should be a while. I think they stay up for like a month or 2 months on Twitch, don't they? I don't know. I know nothing about Twitch except for like a few things I've been watching on other people, but I'm looking forward to getting to know it a little bit better. Oh, Beastman, sorry. Basti Man. Glad you like the Beastman though. All right. 1 month? Yeah, okay. Ravi, yeah, we're going to be getting on the cube. It's going to come. It might be a little bit longer, but I'll definitely have some content on it on Cube CSS. Maybe I'll even, one of the live streams coming up, I might take a break from this project just because I'm hitting my head against the wall a little bit with it. And maybe I'll do something from scratch and we can try and explore Cube or something like that. That could be a fun one. Maybe I'll do that next Thursday, and then the week after that, we could jump back into this. So anyway, have a good one, everybody. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. It's been a lot of fun. But and I don't know how to end my stream or anything. I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, wrong window. Oh no. There it is. All right.